Hi YouTube, welcome back. Long time no talk. I am officially in my third trimester, the end of my pregnancy, which is so crazy. I am 37 weeks in one day when recording this, but you know the drill. We're gonna go back in time and start from the beginning. When I last left off, I believe I was 27 weeks. That was the last week of the second trimester, so we will start at 28 weeks. I have my handy dandy notes like always because my brain and baby brain is worse than ever. I never had a great memory, but we can blame the baby now for how bad it really is. So not much has really happened. Obviously continuing to grow a strong and healthy baby, but nothing like out of the ordinary or crazy. So starting at 28 weeks, I got my glucose test, my blood drawn to check my glucose, and I passed, thankfully. I was really worried about that. 29 weeks, I felt hiccups for the first time, which was an interesting but cool feeling, only from the inside, but still really cool, just that repetitive kind of like, I don't know, you know what hiccups feels like. Also at 29 weeks, I noticed starting to feel a little less patient and moody, I guess. I'm sure other people picked up on it. I don't mean to be any certain way, but I don't know, I just don't have the patience. Also at 29 weeks, I was and am still feeling that pain in my left butt cheek that I believe I mentioned last video. I might have said I thought it was sciatica pain, but my chiropractor called it SI pain because I'm not feeling that pain all the way through to my foot. Still kind of uncomfortable at times. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's worse than others. Sometimes it's, like I said, barely there. Also at 29 weeks, started to notice some dull low back pain here and there, nothing I can't tolerate. Also more pain in my feet as I stand for work. But usually none of this bothers me until after the workday, which is great. At 30 weeks, Kevin finally felt baby boy move, which was really exciting. Before that, you had to be very patient and try and catch him. So at 30 weeks, he finally felt them, which was really exciting and cool that finally even other people could feel him other than myself, but definitely exciting that his daddy could feel him. At 31 weeks, I didn't really mark anything down in my app or on my notes, nothing really to update, just another week growing. 32 weeks, I thought I was over my cereal craving, and then a few days passed and I was like, nope, still need to eat cereal. It feels like every day, which I know is not the healthiest craving, but it stuck its way out for a while. I think officially I could say now, at 37 weeks, I'm over it. I still do enjoy it, but I don't feel like I have to have it every day. So at 32 weeks, at my appointment for my 32 week, they were feeling and measuring baby as, you know, always, and he was head down, which is good. He has stayed that way, which is also very good, thankfully. I myself as a baby was breech, and my mom did not say that was fun, so glad he is head down. Also at 32 weeks, I noticed tiny little drops of milk coming from my nipples, which seems so early. It was after a shower, so I don't know if like the steam or the heat kind of helped, but like I could kind of squeeze just tiny little drops out, which was really exciting and just good to know that my body is doing what it's supposed to be. Then 33 weeks came around, early January, and I had my baby shower, which was really fun. Unfortunately, there was a kind of a crappy ice storm, so a lot of people couldn't make it, and COVID was kind of running high at the time, so that also, but we still had a really great turnout, and appreciate everybody who could come and spoil us and show us love, not even with gifts, but just who could make it. We pretty much have everything we need. I'm actually in the baby's room right now, but I'm not going to show anything because it's not quite together. It's still a little bit of a mess. This past week, skipping ahead a little bit, my sister-in-law Carla and I actually kind of built a lot of the things. We built the crib and a stroller and bouncer and kind of things like that, and that was really fun and nice to have her help. And so it is coming along and feeling good, but definitely not put together. 3 weeks is when I started noticing some swelling in my ankles. Not a ton, but definitely a little bit that I could notice. Also, baby started to move, like I feel like a lot more. When I would work, I wouldn't really notice him while I was with clients or standing, or even not working when I was like up and about doing things. I didn't really feel him, but that week I could finally like start to feel him while I was doing other things, not just like sitting and kind of waiting to feel him, which is exciting. He's definitely a little mover, and I'm glad I can finally feel him because it took so long. 34 weeks, I started to notice that my nipples are sore again, which not like uncontrollably or uncomfortably, but it had kind of come back, and even since then it's been off and on, just here and there. I guess it's obviously normal. Also at 34 weeks, my congestion kind of came back. That's also off and on, which is not really fun, especially during these times, because if you have a stuffy nose or any sort of symptoms, it's questionable for COVID. I also was feeling crampy off and on starting at 34 weeks. I don't really know what Braxton Hicks are supposed to feel like. I assume that's what it was. 5 weeks, I started my weekly appointments a little bit early, because in the beginning when I had my first appointment, I wasn't seen until 9 weeks, so everything was kind of thrown off from then. But at that appointment, baby was measuring 2 weeks ahead, just from like them using the measuring tape. And the doctor did say that it could have been just his positioning, which we did find out later at 36 weeks that must have just been his positioning, because at 36 weeks I had my last ultrasound and they did all the measurements and stuff, and he was measuring right on track, which was definitely reassuring. And I know it's all an estimate, but I hope I don't have a 9-pound baby. Also for 35 and 36 weeks, still kind of noticing that low back pain here and there, that pain in my butt, acid reflux, all of that stuff kind of comes and goes, and it's never really anything I can't tolerate. I've only had one night where the acid reflux kept me up for a few hours, but other than that, things have been really smooth. And I've said this whole time, I'm really blessed and thankful to say that I've had such a healthy, smooth going pregnancy, and that's continued on all the way until now. 35 weeks, I noticed my belly button doing some weird things. I have a very, very deep innie, but it wanted to try and come out. It still kind of is. It's kind of poking out at the top, but like not really out. It's weird. Kind of funny to see. 35 weeks, I noticed that my boobs had gotten bigger again, which I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'd assume when the baby comes, my milk comes in, they're gonna get bigger again, but things are growing around here, not just the baby. So I think I already mentioned this just like a second ago, but 36 weeks was my last ultrasound. Didn't really get to see much because he's so big in there. I asked to see his face, but she was like, no, you're not really gonna see anything. They don't really like to show their face at this stage. They're really too big, so I didn't get to see much. Just what she was doing for the measurements to make sure that he was on track. I got to see like his belly and his thigh bone, and of course his heart, and just things like that. So it was still kind of exciting, but kind of lame at the same time. I was kind of disappointed. And I knew he would be big and smushed in there, but I was hoping I could at least get maybe a little bit of a profile, but it's okay. We will see him soon. Also at 36 weeks, we moved into a new apartment. Hence why I mentioned baby's room earlier. We finally have a 2-bedroom, which is great. Not that he's really gonna sleep in here much when he's first with us, but I hope to maybe nap him in his crib so he can get used to it, and eventually that transition will be easier. And his changing table's in here, and I plan to get a rocking chair and just kind of hang out in here with him so he's familiar with it. Also to store all of his stuff. We were really cramped in our 1-bedroom. We weren't supposed to move until 38 weeks. and I had found out the person that was in this apartment was moving early, so I kind of begged them to let us move earlier. At first they turned me down and said no, and then they came back and said they were able to figure out, which I'm so thankful for, because I couldn't imagine moving next week, and just at 38 weeks you could be having a baby, and that really was kind of stressful. I'm glad that's behind us now. Last but not least, 37 weeks, which is where we are at now. I had a doctor's appointment today as usual, because like I said, I'm at my weekly appointments, measuring fine, heartbeat's fine, just coasting along at the end of this journey, which is kind of bittersweet. Of course, I'm like really happy and excited and impatient to meet him, but I will kind of be sad when it's over. It's really fun to feel him moving in there and know he's safe in there. 37 weeks, 3 or more or less weeks to go. At this point, my hospital bag and Kevin's bag and even baby's bag is mostly packed. There's a few last minute things I want to get to add in there. I'm gonna put the car seat in the car this week, which is exciting and crazy. So just anxiously awaiting his arrival. So before I close out the video, I will make sure to show my bump, because I mentioned I would last time. It's been many weeks in between. So here's the next clip of what he looks like, or what I look like. This is baby at 37 weeks. He is growing big and strong, and I will be curious to see how he looks, or how big he actually is when the time comes. And I apologize if this video is all over the place, even apologizing to myself when I look back in the future. I try to write everything down, and I kind of thought I would make updates more frequently, but because everything's gone so smoothly, I don't have much to update on, so that's kind of why I just write it down week by week and then make it all in one lump sum. Now, I'm not sure how many updates will be left, because we don't know when baby will come. I think I might just wait until he's here. Like I said, 3 to 5 weeks, I guess, depending if he comes late or early. Weeks left. And so I guess I'll probably just make another update when he's here, saying he's here, and updating how the rest of this pregnancy has gone. So for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time with the baby. Bye, guys.